This is a video on the power brakes on the 59 Bel Air. Did not have power brakes, I added them. I put a Bendix booster on it. There's a vacuum tank, vacuum reservoir tank in under the fender here. There. Get the camera down in there good enough. So when your engine's off, you still have vacuum assist on the power brakes. The booster, I cleaned that tank up, checked it, no leaks, nothing wrong with it, put it in there, took the hood hinge off to get it in there. That's mounted where the factory mounted them. If you had a dealer installed power brake booster, generally they mount the tank here on the fender. If it was factory installed, it was mounted back there. I did it like the factory would have done it. This car did not have power brakes, did not have power steering either. I added both. There's a vacuum line that goes from the reservoir to the booster, and then from the booster to the engine. And I think I have one of the engine breather off in another video that shows. Anyway, there's a vacuum check valve at the back of the carburetor that allows the power brake system to maintain vacuum while the engine's off. I did rebuild the master cylinder. I did not have it sleeved. It was in good shape. I was able to hone it. There was no pits in it. Brake fluid's like a moisture magnet, so it does absorb moisture and it does cause corrosion, and these are open vented systems. I'd like to try and make a cap to make it a closed system. And it is a single reservoir system, so if you have one brake line fail anywhere in the hydraulic system, anything in the hydraulic system fail, you have no brakes. That's why they went to these dual master cylinders with two lines coming out and a proportioning valve if you have disc brakes, so that your front brake, you want your front brakes to do most of the stopping. Usually like on this, there's no proportioning valve. They just put bigger wheel cylinders on the front wheels than the rear wheels because your front wheels are doing a lot more braking. That's generally why you go through two sets of fronts to one set of rear brakes. And if you have a disc drum, generally they have a proportioning valve, and that kind of adjusts the fluid between the front and rear. And if you have hydraulic failure, moves a little switch, allows a little switch to push one way or the other and turns your brake warning light on your dashboard. This has no proportioning valve. It has no, it's really not a, they use this single reservoir system too until I think 65 or 6. I don't remember when they changed to a dual reservoir system. They still had drum brakes, which when they get hot they tend to fade. I've never had problems with the brakes in this car. I've had it through the mountains. I've driven this car all over the place. Never had any issues with the brakes on the car at all. I've completely gone through it in the past. I've replaced all the wheel cylinders, hydraulic lines, hydraulic hoses. You can see the brake line there is new. I made that up and put that on when I put the power brakes on the car. And I put the power brakes on probably, I'm going to say 15 years ago, the power steering maybe 20 years ago. Again, the engine has never been apart other than valve cover gaskets and a front crank oil seal. That engine is an original unrebuilt engine. It does have its little quirks of little tap it noise now and then, or a little rattle now and then. It might go down maybe a pint of oil in 2,000 miles. The car has 190,000 miles. I had 58,000 when I bought it. I've changed the oil in it, every couple thousand miles. Usually, there for a while, I was doing it once a season, and I'd put maybe 1,000, 2,000 miles a year. Lately, I've been putting more miles. Some years when I would put 4,000 or 5,000 on it, I'd change oil every 2,000. So the engine's in good shape, runs good still. Hopefully it stays running good for a long time. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video about the power brakes on the 59 Chevrolet. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.